back to Off the Beaten Couch. I'm Bonnie Adams, a licensed marriage and family therapist who specializes in helping families overcome addiction. This is the 6th episode in our series Family in Flux, and today we're talking about the mascot. This is the family's resident comedian, the one who can turn the most awkward or even painful moment into a punchline. If you've ever been the one cracking jokes at a tense dinner table or using humor to dodge those serious talks, you're definitely going to recognize this role. And if you're skeptical about healing through self-care or journaling sounds like a homework assignment, don't worry, I got you. This episode is totally for you. No scented candles, no forced meditation. So who is the mascot? The mascot is the family member who uses playfulness, humor, or even downright silliness to distract from pain and tension. While the hero is busy achieving and the scapegoat is busy acting out and the lost child is fading into the wallpaper, the mascot is the one who's making everybody laugh, and sometimes at their own expense. It's not just about being funny though, it's about survival. When the atmosphere gets heavy, the mascot's job is to break the tension. Sometimes this means making themselves the punchline. Sometimes it means deflecting serious conversation with a funny face or a joke. It can be a relief for everyone, at least for a moment. Humor is a very powerful coping tool. It helps us bond, diffuse conflict, and makes the unbearable just a little bit more bearable. For the mascot, humor isn't just a tool, it's their armor. When things get tense, the mascot steps in with a joke, a silly dance, or a story. If everyone's laughing, maybe nobody will notice the pain, the anger, or the fear that's simmering just below the surface. But when humor becomes the only way to connect, it can also become a barrier. The mascot might struggle to be taken seriously, to express real feelings, or to ask for help when it matters most. The mascot's role is shaped by and shapes the entire family dynamic. With the addict, the mascot tries to lighten the mood, sometimes making jokes about the thing that nobody even wants to talk about. The enabler might actually encourage the mascot's humor, grateful for any break in the tension, but the enabler rarely checks in with how the mascot is actually feeling. The hero might roll their eyes at the mascot's antics, seeing them as a distraction from the serious matters, but secretly appreciates the relief. Sometimes the mascot and the scapegoat form an unlikely alliance. One gets in trouble and the other gets everyone laughing about it. The lost child might even envy the mascot's ability to get everybody's attention, even if it's just for a laugh. The mascot's humor helps the family avoid the pain, but it can also keep everybody stuck. It prevents everybody from facing what actually needs to be faced. On the outside, the mascot is the life of the party, quick with a joke and always ready to lighten the mood. But inside, the experience is much more complex and often much lonelier than anyone realizes. There's often a constant low-level anxiety humming in the background. Will my joke land? Will this lighten the mood, or will it fall flat? The mascot can feel responsible for keeping everyone afloat. If the room is tense, it's up to them to fix it. This pressure can be exhausting and it never really lightens up. Underneath the humor, there's often a deep fear of being vulnerable. The mascot may worry that if they ever let their guard down, their family and even the world will see just how scared, sad, or angry they really are. Humor becomes a way to hide and to keep real feelings at arm's length. If they're always joking, nobody can get close enough to see what's really going on. Even when surrounded by people, the mascot can feel intensely alone. Their role is to entertain, not to be understood. When they try to tell something real, they might get brushed off. Oh, you're just being dramatic, lighten up. Over time, this can lead to a sense of their real self isn't welcome, or they're only valued for what they can make others feel. The mascot might start to wonder, who am I if I can't make others laugh? There can be a real struggle with self-worth. Who are they if they're not funny? No, that's not it. There can be a real struggle with self-worth. Are they lovable when they're not funny? Are they allowed to have bad days? To be serious? To need support? Sometimes a mascot's humor is so automatic that even they can't tell when they're joking and when they're not. All these jokes and funny stories can act like a lid on a pot that's about ready to boil over. The mascot might have a hard time accessing their own feelings of fear or hurt or anger because they've been suppressed for so long. When the mask slips, maybe late at night or when they're all alone, can be very overwhelming for the mascot. There may be tears, frustration, or a sense of emptiness that the mascot finds really hard to explain. Humor really can be healing, but it can be isolating when it's the only tool that you have in the box. The mascot may long for somebody to see past the jokes, to take them seriously, and to ask, how are you really? And actually mean it. Let's pause for a reality check. Not everybody is going to sit down to journal or spend 20 minutes a day in meditation. Some people can barely sit for 5 minutes without making a joke about it. If you're the mascot, you might find traditional self-care advice a little, boring. Or even impossible, and that's okay because healing doesn't have to look like a Pinterest board. Here are some down-to-earth, mascot-friendly ways to start healing and connecting without giving up your sense of humor. Find your people, the ones who get your jokes and your feelings. Look for friends or groups where you can be silly and serious. Maybe it's a game night or a sports team or even an improv class. The goal isn't to stop being funny. It's about finding places where you can be yourself, jokes and all. Try micro honesty. You don't have to pour yourself out all at once. Start by slipping a little bit of truth into your humor, right? There's always truth in jest. If someone asks how you're doing, you can say, honestly, I'm really tired, but my coffee hasn't betrayed me yet. It's a joke, but it's also real. Move your body. Mascots have a lot of energy. Use it. Go for a walk. Dance in your kitchen. Play a sport or just stretch. Physical movement can help process emotions that words can't even touch. Use humor to connect, not just deflect. Next time you make a joke, notice if you're using it to avoid something or to invite someone in. Try using humor to open up conversations, not shut them down. For example, you could say something like, I joke a lot, but I'm actually just nervous. Allow yourself to be bored or quiet, just for a minute. It's okay to take a break from performing. Try sitting with a friend or a family member in silence, even if it feels awkward. Notice what comes up. Sometimes the most honest moments happen when nobody's trying to be funny. Seek out real talk in small doses. If you're not ready for a deep therapy session, try YouTube, a book, or a podcast where people talk honestly about their struggles. Sometimes hearing somebody else be real can make it easier to try it yourself. These approaches aren't about giving up your humor, it's about broadening your range. When the mascot learns to balance humor with honesty, they become more than just the family clown. They become someone who can connect deeply, express feelings, and be taken seriously when it counts. Healing is about making space for all parts of yourself, the silly, the serious, and everything in between. And if you're thinking, yeah, right, I'm really gonna sit in silence and talk about my feelings, that's okay. Start where you are. Sometimes the best place to start is to admit that it feels awkward or uncomfortable. You can even make jokes about it. Just don't let the joke be the end of the conversation. The mascot's journey is about learning that you don't have to be on all the time to be loved or valued. You can be funny and real. You can make people laugh and still have your own feelings. Every step you take toward honesty and compassion, no matter how small, matters. Thanks for hanging out with me on Off the Beaten Couch. If you just felt seen, let me know in the comments. Next time, we'll keep exploring the wild world of family roles and how to break free from them, one honest moment at a time.